The existence of God is never something that I questioned or philosophized about. But to that extent of leaving everything behind and giving my life in such a way, I couldn't fathom it before my encounter with Jesus. I think the whole turning point of my journey, both in my faith journey and also with Verbum Dei, there were two parts. No, the first one was, I think, one of the Thursdays, or the first Thursday that I attended the prayer session, which we call the School of the Word. It was a lay disciple. I remember the first time I heard him preach, I thought, wow, it's as if this guy had just spoken to God. The belief that it was God Himself is speaking right to each one of us, to our situations in life. So that was really striking for me. The second thing was that in 2006, I was going to Toronto for my summer exchange. I remember after one lunchtime mass in the campus chapel, it was then the words of Isaiah 43, 1-4 came to me, but it came to me in a way that it is not just words written on any Bible, but it was words spoken to me directly from God, from Jesus Himself. I know you, I've called you by name, you are mine. That was really shocking, surprising, and it was all the emotions of joy and wonder that really God exists and He knows me and He spoke to me. That was the moment that my faith journey changed and my relationship with God changed, because He became so personal and so real to me.
A bit wrong 45 degrees Yeah.
One of my little dreams in life since I was a child, like young, was to learn wushu. And so at that point, I had the flexibility of my work, I had the financial stability to actually really enroll and realize my childhood dream of learning wushu. So I did that for a few years, quite regularly. At one time, I got to know the story of one of the coaches and why he left his polytechnic job to become a full-time wushu instructor was very striking, because I could see the love that he had for wushu and the passion he had for wushu, such that everything else didn't matter anymore. And I remember the next day, I thought and I told God in my prayer, wow, I want that for my life. But from that prayer, what I understood was the reply of God in my heart saying, why not me? Why can't you make me your excellence in life? Why can't you make me your passion in life? And that was the first time that I understood the call, and I got very taken aback because I didn't expect that answer. And it was from then, that was, I think, the turning point that I started really to seriously consider or begin to pray about the consecrated life as a vocation within the Verbum Dei charism. I remember very, very clearly that my one biggest concern was the need for the assurance that it was not me calling myself, because I knew if I'm the one calling myself, it will not last. Or was it really God or Jesus calling me to this? Because if it is Him calling and if it is His project, then it will last. And the second one was, of course, how to tell my family. How to tell my family, because after the Asian financial crisis and the persecutions of the Chinese Christians, Catholics in Jakarta, my parents made the effort to move the whole family to Singapore for a better future and a better life. So I understand from the perspective of my parents, if I tell them that, oh, I'm going to leave everything behind, I'm going to quit my job as a pharmacist, I'm not going to get married, and I'm going to enter as a full-time consecrated missionary. So that was also another big obstacle and struggle that I had. Thankfully, thank God, my relationship with my parents, we are close. So in that sense, I did tell my mom, or I hinted to her that, you know, I'm discerning for this vocation, and that was 3 years before I entered. And also I think behind that, I wanted them to also know or journey with me in my discernment, because if it is going to be a call for life, then I would want to take it seriously. At the end of that 3 years, I think what was clear was that if I didn't enter when I grew old, I would turn back and I would say, why didn't I take the step? I remember we were staying in Yishun, and I did tell the whole family in the room that I'm going to enter, because if not, I'm going to regret it. But later on, as I journeyed deeper and I understood that it is really from Him, then my prayer became, then let me be faithful to the end. The invitation of God is to take a leap of faith and to trust that He knows. That's why the theme of my perpetual vows is nothing is wasted. Through the passage of Mark 14:3-9, I understood that it was the invitation of Jesus to me to give my life signified in that jar of perfume. And it is a precious life. Yes, some people would not understand, some people would be infuriated also at this act of such a waste of life. But the passage didn't end there. The passage ended by Jesus standing up and defending the woman and saying, let her be. She has done what she could, and she has done a good thing for me. And to me, those were the words that I understood, that nothing is wasted. It is not a waste of life, giving one's life to God, because it is something that I was called to do. And therefore, the theme is nothing is wasted, to continue believing in the promise of God.